Let's rock it! 3, 3, 5. Power Rangers! Hey everybody, Linda aka the Gamer Girl here, and today is going to be a collab between me and Banadana Gamer because we enjoy Power Rangers and we want to showcase some amazing bosses in the video games in hopes that we'll get some more people on board. So I'm going to start it off. The first one is Cyclopsis. This is the final boss in the first original Super Nintendo, and it is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it's just one of those ones where it's a really hard boss. For those who don't know, it's got 2 forms in the video game, and when you're playing, the life bar is very high on this guy, and when you about to beat it, he gets extra more durable and difficult, so you have to be jumping, doing weird stuff, and all over the place, and your Megazord is not as fast as his, so that doesn't help at all. But in the original show, it made for more comedy because you would get 1 slash, and the guy would get 500 slashes. So in the original TV show, he got 3 Megazords in 1 and had to be defeated, so I feel even more of a badass that I only got it with 1. Now we're going to throw it over to Banadana Gamer.
Hey everyone, it's John Brown, the one and only. Wait, no, this video requires something different. It's Bandana time! Hey everyone, it's John Brown, the Bandana Gamer. Coming to you today with a special team up with Linda, aka the Gamer Girl, making us Power Rangers Super Awesome Mega Retro Force Gamers Edition. We are doing our top 3 favorite villains in Power Ranger video games today. And so I'm going to start off my list with number 3 from Power Rangers Mighty Morphin on the Sega Genesis. The first game on the Sega Genesis in the Power Ranger series. My villain off of this is Minotaur. Minotaur is a very basic monster, but that's what I loved about Rita and Zed's monsters, is they were just basic monsters. I feel like watching some of the future series, the monsters get a little too complicated or just overly goofy and zany, but these were simple monsters. Minotaur was huge. He had the bull's head. He had a huge club and was just an awesome looking Japanese monster. It was just a really cool look. In the game, he's awesome. He has a flying kind of body slam. He has fire that he can throw with his club, and he breathes fire. He's really hard to get past. He's the first one you take on, and is just an amazing looking boss. Amazing powers, and in that game looks so great. So my first favorite enemy in a Power Rangers game comes from that Sega Genesis game, and it is Minotaur.
For my second boss, it is going to be Mr. Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, Super Nintendo game. For this one, the reason why I chose him is because he's a pivotal character in the movie. He basically is the villain who takes over and just says, you know what? I don't need Rita and Lord Zed. I'm going to do it on my own. And he goes in and he infiltrates and gets all the kids to take the ooze and help, like wildfire just takes over everything. So from there, it is one of those things where it's like really, really important that you get to the end and beat him. And when you actually get to the end, you're not disappointed. It is one of the final bosses that I imagined was going to be, you know, like whatever. But no, they took time and care and they made sure he looked like the original Ivan Ooze, and his movements, because he had some weird outfit where it was like when he moved, like his elbows extend for the character, so they made sure that was part of it. Like his movements involved elbows. Like, So yeah, that is my second amazing boss. Let's kick it over to Bandana Gamer to see what his second boss is.
Villain number 2 comes from the Power Rangers game that is closest and nearest to my heart, mainly because of nostalgia. And that is the first game on the Game Boy. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the Game Boy with Super Game Boy enhancements. I adored this game. I remember getting this game for my birthday. And my birthday is really close to Christmas. My mother is a pastor, so generally the day after my birthday, Christmas Eve, we'd spend it at the church. And I remember the year I got this, I also got like one of those like accessories for the Game Boy that gave you extra speakers and magnifying glass and light that you all hooked up and made the Game Boy even bigger. And I remember just sitting in her office playing this endlessly. So this is one of the Power Ranger games that is nearest and dearest to my heart. But my favorite villain that comes from this in a Power Rangers video game is the final boss. It's Rita. You actually fight Rita in this game. You don't do that on the Super Nintendo. You don't do that on the Sega Genesis ones. You generally fight some kind of giant beast in her stead. But in this game, you actually take on Rita, and she throws bats at you. And you memorize her pattern, and she's not that hard, but it's just really cool that you get to take on Rita, because even in the show, you never had an actual final battle with Rita. Like in space, in the final episode of In Space, she kind of got dealt with all the villains, kind of reformed, and then pops up in later, I believe, in Mystic Force as a good guy. But this one, you actually get to battle and take out Rita. So she is my second favorite boss. Second favorite monster and villain in a Power Rangers video game.
And for the final boss, that is going to be Drew from SPD GBA. For those who don't know, there was a bunch of other video games that were on the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy and also Game Boy Color, but one of my favorite that is not overly done to where it is obnoxious with the voice acting is the GBA version of SPD. SPD had a character by the name of Drew, and basically he was a friend of the Blue Ranger, and what he did was he became bad. He became jealous. He was like, you were my idol. All of you guys were my idols, and I wanted to be, like you guys, and now, screw it. I'm done. I want to just be a villain. Who cares? And so the classic good turns into evil scenario on every single Power Rangers episode almost. Or season, and he basically just goes to town, and he says, and he's like, I'm gonna do something, and so he corners the Blue Ranger in the video game. It's a little bit different to where you just battle him, and there's two forms, which is why I like his character even more in the GBA version, because he starts off as the normal Drew Blue creature form, and then from there he becomes a Megazord, so you have to battle two different forms, and at the very end is a dramatic cutscene for the GBA version where it goes to the gun and it goes deet, 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 and it just shoots off, and as it shoots off, it goes and then from there, you have Drew on the ground, and he changes back to his original form in the video game. It just looks just like, kind of like a yellow color, and it says, Commander, he has left. So that is a classic character that I took my time thinking and looking through, and I was like, he had a pivotal role in SPD, and he had a pivotal role in the GBA game, so he gets an ode to me for having an amazing character in the series and an amazing game. And I can see that they actually watched the show for this one and made sure that he was true to his character. And with that, we're gonna throw it on back to Banadana Gamer and see what his final boss is.
And a drum roll, please. My number one villain in a Power Rangers video game is Lord Draken from the Power Rangers comic book series from Boom Studios. Lord Draken is a alternate universe version of Tommy who decides to stay evil even once he's freed from Rita Repulsa's spell. He ends up stealing the white light and becoming a hybrid of the Green and White Ranger, which is, as you can see, is two of my favorite designs. And I love his look. I love how they combined those two Ranger forms into one form. And he goes on, he has two more evolutionary forms after this as he seeks to become the ultimate being by tapping in to the Morphin grid. And that is in the comic book story Shattered Grid, which I definitely recommend everyone checking out. Now, of course, right now you're saying, Bandana, this is a video game video, and you're talking about comics, and you're holding an action figure. Well, my friends, that's where you're wrong, because Lord Draken is the main villain in the Power Rangers Battle for the Grid fighting game for the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. He is the main boss in the story mode and main boss in the arcade mode. And the best part, he's a playable character in this game. You play as him in the story mode for several times, and then of course you can play as him in the arcade mode and make him a member of your 3-person team. I love how he controls, how he feels. He has both the Dragon Dagger and Saba. Is able to hit some awesome combos. He has an awesome ultimate combo. He's a real fun character to play around. He has a teleport, which can bounce him around the screen. And he's just a lot of fun to play. And he has such a cool look. Lord Draken is what got me into collecting this Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures. As you can see behind me, there were several more actually up above, but I wanted to have those 3. But Lord Draken is just such an awesome character with such an awesome look, with such an awesome story. And this game does a great job of telling that story in video game form. And I just love what they do with the character. He's actually voiced by Jason David Frank in this video game. Jason David Frank has actually appeared as Lord Draken in a trailer for the comic book, but he also does the voice of the character in this game. And that's what makes Lord Draken my favorite villain in a Power Rangers game.
And that's the episode, everybody. Thank you, Bandana Gamer, for taking the time to do this collab with me. And remember, keep on gaming, everybody. I'm going to put the link in the description for Bandana Gamer's channel. Check it out. He has some awesome content as far as unboxings and Power Rangers stuff. So go check him out. Go see what he's all about. And if you like his content, hit the sub button. And remember, keep on gaming, everybody. Is it Morphin time yet? Bye, everybody.
Linda the Gamer Girl. She's here, she's playing games. Linda the Gamer Girl. She's here, she's playing games.